Hello guys, I think I'm gonna make another OptiMonk, and I have thought hard about this because I have these kinds of videos which they might be related with my hobby, but they take a more political discussion or cultural discussion side of things, and this is something I always was thinking. When I did the OptiMonk 002, I was thinking maybe I shouldn't do such videos for a long time because I I have a channel where I do things that people mostly love to see. If you are just creating stuff and don't focus on the politics and you just talk about that stuff, it will be mostly okay and everybody will be happy. Not that I care about making people. I'm just putting things out that I want, but sometimes I think how good is someone coming to my channel to see some interesting coding stuff to then find out a video that triggers them in a bad way. And wouldn't it be better for humanity if we all focused on the hobby stuff and not this kind of stuff? Which this is a big subject that is related to the video I want to do now, to the things I want to talk about. And as always, there is some motive that made me say, I'm gonna start a new run. But there is a grievance about reality, about the things that are the way the world is right now, and I don't think we can come back from this, or I don't think. Maybe in several years we will look at this like I don't know. Maybe people would have changed, and we won't get as political as we do now, even unwanted, even without ever wanting. And I was thinking about that because most of my videos, if they have likes, it's usually 100%. But you see, OptiMonk too. And I mean, same on YouTube for hiding the thumbs down. I don't think it's good to not be able to see it, unless the creator wanted to hide them. Okay, it's mostly positive, but there are a few negative. It makes me thinking. Okay, this had fewer, but this one was very popular and it's mostly positive, but it makes me think for people who maybe wanted to see something positive in their life, they got triggered that I started ranting about that again. Or maybe they thought, even if they didn't disagree, they thought, you shouldn't be doing that. You should focus on your coding work and not on these things, these politics that are consuming us all. And it's not even about politics, it's about culture, it's about. I used to be apolitical. And people always say, yeah, if you are a political, you weren't paying attention, and that means you were complicit, and you are always complicit with the right wing. Some people think like this. And I could counter argue, but most of my friends are very left leaning. I mean, they are not on the what I call now woke and what I used to communicate certain things, but if you do it, it's suddenly a dog whistle. You are part of the right wing, which is another word. So if I hear someone saying dog whistle, that would be a dog whistle for me to think, oh, that person for using that is a woke person, a far left woke person. You see, because every group uses its special language. and we ended up identifying each other in this hobby. In gaming, it started with Gamergate, and I guess even then, when Gamergate happened, people took sides. Some people are like, could be, you know, I wasn't political, but now I will go more to the far left. I will be 200% feminist or something because they harm the woman in the gaming industry. Okay, and I had my reasons to go on the other side. And the other side, most of the people who went to the other side, it's not. They will call you far right. They will call you extremist. But it's not that. It's most people are not very political, and then the world has changed and things have invaded our hobbies, and you see certain behavior, and based on my personality traits, I I end up in a side that is like, I don't like this cancel culture. Sorry, there are things I see, and of course, again, if I say cancel culture, if I say all of these are dog whistle. They are signalizers for the other side of that. Oh, that person is siding with the alt right. And to continue and get into the subject, I had these conflicting thoughts when I accidentally read something on that John Carmack posted. And yeah, a long time ago I left Twitter, but at some point I secretly went into Twitter. Also, I'm not following tech guys, except few tech guys. And it wasn't even about following some political. I was following some people in the ufology spectrum, which is weird. It's some new people on YouTube talking about UFOs, but it's like the new generation of young people talking, and they're very funny. So I wanted to follow some people and see where these things go. And yeah, ended up also following some MRA stuff, but okay. So, and I try to use it less. I try to use Twitter less than I used in the past. Very rarely. It's always when I'm bored. But anyway, and in this one, John Carmack seems to talk about there is a convention called BasedCon. I will talk about it. And this is, I guess, this is a big post that he tries to be apologetic about something. Previously, it was he said, "I'm going to be at BasedCon again this year." So he was in the last year, And it's a sci-fi convention mainly. But here's the problem. First of all, it's called BasedCon, and there is a reason. And you see guests. There is John Carmack. I don't know if I know most of them. I don't know much about sci-fi. So, why is it called BasedCon? And for those of us who follow the cultural wars, the woke, anti-woke, and left, right, and so on, you know that based is another word recently that is more associated with the right-wing side. And again, now I'm going into tangents now. It means now I associate it with people who are brave enough to say no to the cancel culture and the woke stuff. And now I have already used a lot of dog whistles. You cannot, if you talk about that stuff whether you are in one side or the other side, the language betrays you. So based is when someone calls, people are calling, this person is racist, sexist, he needs to lose his job and blah blah blah. And the person, instead of being apologetic, says, you know what, fuck you. Go fuck yourself. Because most people are like, sorry, I'm pro diversity and inclusion, I'm with the good people, I'm not with the bad people. And I'm happy when someone says, you know what, no, fuck you, based. It's over. Because if you cow to these people and you apologize, it might be get worse. They might be like, oh, we're getting power, let's go cancel the next person now. And this is the thing I'm seeing since Gamergate, and this is what put me there. So, this one, here's the other problem. This one could be a regular convention about fantasy sci-fi. Okay. But it ended up taking a certain angle, which is, why are we based? Because we love to, we're having fun, we love fantasy books and games and movies and TV shows, and then the convention were dominated by authoritarians. It's a bit polemic, okay? I understand it. Who made the social justice warriors in the name of inclusiveness, in quotes? So it's like they're saying, you know, this is what they say to make you. They're saying, I'm for diversity and inclusion. What? You are against that? You are a racist, sexist? You are a bad person? No, I am not a bad person. Okay, I'm with you. This is the trap. This is what they say. So I read all of this, and for me, I'm like, I'm with you, I understand you. They talk about some issues, about some puppy saga, which something happened in a war called, I don't know this one. Maybe you are familiar. Of course, this is what put me in the Gamergate thing. And there was this case about Gina Carano, who got fired from the, because she said something non-political correct. Doesn't matter if she said something dumb or not. She said something non-political correct. And then they go, and you haven't heard about, to push the critical race theory and other social justice garbage in the school, blah blah blah. So this is a screed of the anti-woke person, okay? But now this is a screed that personally, in the place I am, from the place I'm coming, it doesn't make me like, ugh. It's like, oh, those people are our own people. Yes, it is in your sense, it is a dog whistle. But they say dog whistle is like you are going with some far right Nazi. You are not going with someone which maybe these people are center. There are some conservatives, some liberal, some left, some very left that are against the woke, that are against this cancel culture. No, they are all far right Nazis. But it's true that this doesn't feel good in another way. It's true that this is loaded. I mean, it even has 5 things I'm gonna talk about. I'm not gonna talk exactly. I think people are disconnected. And you might say, okay, I'm coming to a sci-fi event. Why is it relevant? You know, this is the pro gun, anti-gun in America. This is about pro-choice, pro-life. He says it's some based beliefs in touch with reality. So we are in touch with reality. We don't do virtue signal. It's those other people, and we believe that. Now, does it say if you don't have these based beliefs, you cannot come to the event? We hate you. It doesn't. But okay, but the thing is, those are signalizers. You know, this whole thing is a screed. It's like we are making a Comic Con event, But here are our political cultural thing. Also, it's related that when we try to make neutral events, they got polluted with that stuff. So we have to make a stand. This is how I see it. Other people say, come on, these are politically loaded. And of course, it's politically loaded on the right. If they were politically loaded on the left, if it was some, I don't know, LGBT con something, communist con, or I don't know, it could be okay. It could be progressive and loving and stuff. It's about the, we just want people to feel happy. We don't, safe or something. So this is how it started. In fact, Carmack's apology, it might be apology. Some people are expecting Carmack to go and fight the war, but he says it is unfortunate that Rob, the organizer of the event, has made based con so intentionally provocative. So basically what he's saying, it could have been an event about sci-fi and technology and stories and craft and all that stuff. It didn't need the ideological posturing, Even if this ideological posturing, at least some of it, I mean, it's a bit less subtle. Even if it's something that doesn't make me angry, it makes me happy that some people say, you know what, we'll make the best con. You like it, you don't like it, fuck you. Okay. But he's saying something. You might say, oh, he's backing up. It started with this announcing and people getting angry. John, this is really disappointing, my man. You haven't paid attention. You are going with alt-rider or something. That guy is making a fun about. We don't tolerate sexist or disrespectful jokes unless they're at least twice as funny. And people are like, oh my god, misogyny, racism. You guys don't have humor. So I'm going through tangents, and there's a reason, because one part of me wants to say, you know what, you want woke and anti-woke and cultural war. I'm gonna talk about cultural war. Did I say that maybe my viewers, some of them might be like, I used to like your stuff, but why do you have to bring the cultural wars? And especially with opinions that will trigger me, that I won't like. Maybe 7 out of 10 will like it, according to the stats, and 3 out of 10 are like, wow, why, what has radicalized you? That's the other thing. Something has radicalized you. You have radicalized me. As James Lynch would say, hey, I talk about another person who, a very centrist liberal, by the way, who is studying the woke stuff. Because, see, I'm going into tangent because here is the thing. One part of mine realizes, like, why are we doing that? I would have liked John Carmack to continue making great technology and doing crazy experiments with anything, with computer graphics, AI now, aerospace and whatever, with VR. He's not in Oculus anymore. I think he started these keen technologies for artificial intelligence. which is great. I would have liked, and actually John Carmack is neutral. If you see his Twitters, there is something I admire that put me into thought. Sometimes people will reply to his comment because he expressed some libertarian leanings in some comments. And he says, I like hard work and so on. And they say, you are privileged. You just happen to be lucky and in a good position. He expressed some libertarian ideas, which for me, it doesn't trigger me. I think libertarian is about the free market. This blind belief that free market will save us all. And there is way more with that. I'm not familiar. I know it pisses off leftists. I remember someone in Doom World, and people are like, "Oh yeah, John Carmack. He made the engine of Doom. We praise John Carmack, but he's a libertarian." Someone was pissed on Doom World. So for some people, it's right wing. If you are a libertarian, it's far right or something, or it's related. Good way to push libertarians who might have been more progressive, more to the right. Okay. So, but I noticed, and sorry for going in tangent, that he never expressed that. He tries to focus on the hobby, on his interest, on the technology, on the nerdy things. Once he was in Oculus and in a VR convention, I think, and someone came and asked him, yeah, VR is good, but what are you gonna do about the trans people? Which he could have been like, why are you bringing that? He's like, look, if you are good at your work, so he avoided very cleverly. It's like he's saying equality of opportunity and not this equity. We must put more trans people, but he didn't say it. So for some people it could be suspicious, but he said, if you are good at your work, we are going to hire you, and that's it. But the trans person maybe wanted to push it, like, are you gonna do some diversity hires or something? It's like he said, we don't do that stuff here. We don't believe in diversity hires, but he didn't say it. And in most of his tweets, when the whole Twitter was on fire, and a lot of people who would normally talk about creative things and coding and tech and sci-fi and whatever, they would talk about that. A lot of the people started becoming involved in the culture war, and only John Carmack kept it. Only John Carmack kept the philosophy that maybe I have some political leanings, but it's better to not expose. It's better to focus on the thing you love. Okay, and now I contradict. Don't go much with the OptiMonk. Why am I here? Why am I doing that? And I'll go with that. Why John Carmack shouldn't focus on his technology? Why, I don't know, the creator of Scott Adams, why should he not make more Dilbert? Why is he radicalized? No, who radicalized him? Why Elon Musk doesn't focus on taking us to Mars? And he bought Twitter. Because, and some of us like it, like, it's time for people to see the other side. You want to censor everyone? Fuck you. So one part of me likes it. I'm not an Elon Musk fanboy, likes, but another part of it is, we should be going to Mars. We should not, we entered, not now, not yesterday, not a year ago, 10, 20 years, at least 10 years, we entered in a culture where the whole civilization is consumed. The whole civilization is consumed by, hello guys, I want to talk about coding. I want to talk about Bizarre Underground on the 3D on what I have done. Have you done anything for the females? What did you do for the women? I want to talk about, I don't know. I'm searching it. Three Dioches Maria. This is misogynistic. I want to watch a demo in demo. I want to watch the Zara Hustler. Some rant about feminism. This is like the Candytron thing. It's a cyber chick. And sometimes they zoom on the boobs on the ass. Now, you know, we have free speech. So they have the right to bring it up. But it's over. It's over because I didn't want to do that. I I love this community. No, I mean, no, I was always a bit of a lol cow and I was weird in this community. I have more regrets. Everything could be better, but it doesn't matter. I mean, we can go back and change the future. I loved and I love doing that stuff, and I do regret to make this screed of a demo sometimes, but sometimes I don't regret it because it's in you. This kind of thing that also started the OptiMonk. Because I was so distressed I didn't have time to do something. And people say I'm radicalized. No, I'm not radicalized. Or you radicalized me if you wanna play this game. One thing I hate is the media. The media has created the idea that there are this rising alt-right and everybody who says based and says that stuff is a part of a new group that has extremists and we are fighting. And this is dangerous because people who don't know about this culture war, they might, if they see, if they identify with, if the match, make pattern matching of things they hear on the mainstream news with things they notice about me or things I said, some of them will be, normies who doesn't know woke or anti-woke, neither. I don't know, like my parents or others. I'm worried some. They might be like, oh my god, you must be in some dangerous cult. Someone radicalized. I hate the news for doing this. I hate the news. From all that, I don't hate the left, the right, the forward, the center. I think I even understand in a way, the trans people and the others. Even if I don't align with certain things. I understand because they are people with their own stories. Okay, and some of the people I know from the demo scene, from other spaces, from or professional programmers outside of the demo scene, but people like John Carmack, you know, some of them some of them are oblivious, some of them more to the right, some of them are more to the left, some of them are further to the left. Some of them might be further to the left but don't like the woke. Okay, you could have someone who is a communist Marxist but absolutely hates political correctness and the cancel culture. You could have that. I don't know if you can have a far right woke person. I mean, it might be the same at the end because if the right rose up, they would be the ones who do the censor. Maybe in the 60s they were the ones who did the censoring. No. But I forgot what I wanted to say. I got some demos and some creators I like and I adore. There are some things I know, and I noticed I got someone on Twitter and he has pronounced or she has pronounced or they have pronounced whatever your pronouns are, and or other things. Or lately I'm a bit pissed by other kinds of virtue signal symbols. The same way you will see certain word and it's dog whistles that trigger you. But I'm like, if I was in the 90s, I would be oblivious and we would do the things together. And I wouldn't have to have negative feelings about it. And I don't have much negative. I try to understand. There are people who are sucked into different beliefs, or they have a reason. Okay, they think the world is against them, and maybe the world is against them. I don't want to deny. So I don't. It just makes. So it's. I might just throwing things because one side of myself want to argue about that. Like, okay, these are political stuff. I mean, why are you there? But you might think these are what conservatives say, and so conservatives are hostile and right wing and they're bad people. What some people on the left, I don't think so much anymore. But number one and number five, I don't understand why these are hostile. I was hearing of, because you will hear it if you are in a certain bubble and you hear, look, the woke policy that the UK has done. I was hearing in some UK hospital, maybe it was one of or two woke hospitals with some woke administration. In their public forums, they would not call a woman a pregnant woman. They would call her a birthing person because it's insensitive for the trans people who cannot give birth. I guess here because it says men, it would be like calling a trans female, calling her directly a man. I get it. It's direct misgendering. I can get it, but for me it's like they are the bullies and say, now you cannot say that. If you say that, we're going to cancel you. We're going to destroy you. And this is very important because these woke people started making, at least in America, but these are spreading to other countries. Maybe in Canada, maybe they are fewer in UK and fewer in some European, but they spread like wildfire. They make the idea that if you are white, you are privileged, you have hidden racism, and now I can be a black or other person, I can say any shit about. They say think about Jews, for example. People who are not necessarily white, they could be some black guy who says something about Jews and says, I can be racist because I'm the victim here. I can say horrendous things. A woman can say, a feminist, kill all men hashtag and say that's a joke. You know what would happen if I change the gender? If I say that directly, maybe my account will be down. If I say the same thing instead of a man, I said woman, it would be like I was asking for some kind of, I don't know, extermination of females or something. It would be horrendous immediately horrendous. But they can say, this is what pisses me off. And now I want out of this. Why do I want this? Because one part of me says, we shouldn't be doing that. I'm with you when I started the run and I thought, that might not be good for the community because although the run started because someone else started throwing this white white people with your racism or something. What am I doing with my life? So this is very confusing, but it is an expression that John Garman can escape. He can play the. In one way, that's the best strategy. The only winning movement is to not play the game. How was this quote in war games? Strange game. The only winning move is to not play. But eventually they come for you. And they haven't fully come for Carmack. I mean, it's just comments. It's not like someone asked. I'm even expressing that here. Some guys, I wish I was back in the 90s where politics didn't matter as much as space and you didn't even know care of other leanings. Unfortunately, the world has changed and politics are everywhere. Even if you try to avoid it, and that's my point, you end up sticking in one of the. As I said, I was oblivious. I just wanted. We have this joke in the Gamergate. I just wanted to play video games, and now I'm here watching political stuff, watching Jordan Peterson and James Lindsay theory of how Gnosticism is connected with the left-leaning movements of grievance. Like, would I imagine myself 20 years ago, where I was oblivious. I was hearing my friends talking about politics frantically, and I'm like, whoa, people are obsessed with politics. I'm the only one who doesn't care. And it's like, man, you don't pay attention to the real world. Stop doing your nerdy hobbies and I'm like, yeah. And now you call me radicalized when all of you people were. It doesn't matter the ideology. If you are casual, centrist, leftist, progressive, you are already infected. You are infected by ideas. Now, a lot of these people are still neutral, and some of them, it happened mostly with the left. You see more people being disgusted. Like, oh my god, I can't believe you went to this based con. These people are Nazis. They are far right. They say Nazis, Nazis. And maybe it's a skewed view, but I see that the people who lost their mind are more on the left than on the right. And I'm not a, I'm still nothing. I'm a political. I don't get it. And here you have a PC Gamer article now. You know, game journalism is shit. They try to post that, the people think. This looks like okay. This guy is not woke. He's anti-woke actually, but he, he's team lead for the original World of Warcraft, and I think he's really into game industry. Is this opinion exaggerated on the right? If you're a karmic successful, why care what those nose screeching monkeys are making? Because enabling this, so this guy thinks the civilization will. I was looking at such videos. I mean, it's very relative. How are we going to escape that? I'm again saying, but you might say this is apology. For some people, I should go and 100% deny everything and start thinking like you. I will have to start thinking like these other people. See, previously they found that karma has libertarian meanings. They say, what's the difference because I'm libertarian and I go to live in a world where I can gun down minorities? Yeah, this is what. I don't think this person is serious. This is what libertarians want. This is the future that libertarians want. I know the meme. I don't know anything about them. That was the other guy, the Scott Adams. You close it. What? This is irrelevant. Alt-right events. So if you are critical of this cancel culture, and maybe this is not yet cancel culture, you can put it cancel. Sometimes cancel culture is overused. Or I got cancelled. I guess you get cancelled if someone tries to fire you from your job. And it doesn't only happen to famous people, it happens to unknown, to people we don't know or who don't hear in the news. This is what annoys me. I should finish that, but I have multiple thoughts, and I don't think I'm convincing because. And why would I get some people who are triggered by that stuff and they think if I say based, if I say woke, if I say that some of these things are logical, and even if say that these things are illogical, okay, I guess a fetus, that's a big thing. Say that I think these Americans are crazy with guns. This is what I believe. I think I would be more pro-choice. I never thought about it. I'm pro-freedom. Yeah. Isn't libertarians what? Okay, they are different. Libertarians would they be? Depends. Nah, I mean all this freedom and not freedom and rights and no rights. These are imaginary realities we create. I have some other crazy ideas about that. I don't care about these are opinions, but why this and this makes me a horrible bigot? I, and I'm afraid if I'm trying to communicate badly that yeah, it might be platitude. Like I I still like creators and demos in coding and gaming, and I see creators that are left-leaning. Like I see creators that I adore what this person do. I'm a big fan of this person, and he is 200% BLM LGBT Ukraine flag and all kinds of for me also signalizer. If these things are signalizer for you, dog whistles. Your pronouns and emojis for me are signalized that it's one of these, but I don't hate you. I don't think you are a scumbag or anything. I think okay, you have different beliefs. It's more common to see people being disgusted by Karmak following the based con. So I don't think I will convince those that I came apolitical. I didn't want to do that. I wish we were all happy in our spaces, but you didn't left me any choice. And I don't want to do that. I'm less on Twitter. I got back, but I rarely try to check it compared to the old times. I also don't have anything about my programming. Maybe I'll make another Twitter where I could strictly post previews from. Maybe not. I was thinking of a bizarre underground Twitter or something. But I think I have to stop about this. I think I wasn't convincing. It was my grievance that yeah, whenever these things happen, something fires up in my brain, and I want to talk about it. I'm in the same way you see dog whistles. I see virtue signaling and I see woke ideologies, which I connect with something negative, with this kind of cancel culture, which I don't even know if people understand they are possessed or they are not possessed. They are trolling. They are like, we have the upper hand and the end justifies the mean. We are going to abuse this idea of tolerance and equality and social justice for our means. I have my doubt. There are things that makes me sad and angry, but there is something that tells me what Carmack is trying to say, that I just wanted to have fun and talk about technology and sci-fi and all kinds of things. I didn't want it. I didn't want this world we are in. That even if I try to be 100 apolitical or not mention my political leanings, try to avoid it. Try to focus on the real things. Try to focus on the hobbies, on the real creative stuff. Even if I never made OptiMonk, even if I made 0 OptiMonks, not 0, 0, -1, cancelled all my OptiMonks and never released the It's Over thing. Although something made me want to express things. Even if I did, politics would find me. And if politics didn't find me, they would find some friend, they would find some creator I loved, some creator I love that happens to be not very left-leaning but more right-leaning. No matter what, even creators and programmers that were very left-leaning. When this thing happened last time with Richard Stallman, I never checked his side, actually. His blog, he had a blog, he had a lot of political things. Very, very left-leaning. Very left-leaning. He was posting that, he was doing the same in a way, like the TV said about these far-right groups, and look, they are dangerous, yes. I agree. They are conservatives and they are dangerous. He was doing the thing. It was your people. Richard Stallman was your people. Very, very left. I don't mind his political. It means you could be far left and at the end you will be attacked. I could be a woke person. I could be the opposite of that. I could be a vocal opposite of that. And someone will still come and say, but yesterday you said that on Twitter. It means that you are right wing. I think there was mentioned some people attacked ContraPoints, who is very left leaning and pro trans and everything, because she had a criticism. I guess it was just some Twitter attack. People call it cancel. Oh, she was cancelled. I don't want to think like that. Of course I can stop it. I don't want, but this world is consuming, man. It's not just the social media, it's everything. Because if I wasn't in the social media, if I had zero connection with the social media, one day I will realize that some of my favorite video game creators, say I don't use social media, I just buy the games and I know some creators or I got some demos, but I have no Facebook account, no Twitter. I would learn from some news that some of my favorite creators got attacked. By whom? And then I would learn about the woke thing and I would learn the language that you consider dog whistling. No matter what, the politics would consume and it has consumed us all. So what does it matter if I say I'm gonna do zero OptiMonk and I'm gonna continue with that? And probably it will take a long time before I do the next OptiMonk. But I don't know what I would talk about it. Do you understand it? Do you understand the crap we are living? We should be flying in Mars as a society, as a civilization. We should be building miracles. We shouldn't be consumed by that. But now everyone is consuming them. People in your spaces that had nothing to do. They make based con. Last time I watching some gaming podcast and they had Alex Jones because those gamers there were pissed with the woke thing. So they invited Alex Jones. What does Alex Jones has to do with gaming? This is where we are at now. And don't tell me stop it. You are the one who radicalized me because you radicalized me. I will try to focus on my work, but occasionally, I guess I will throw one of these. Because that's the culture you created. Who, I don't know, maybe humans, collectively. Maybe it's human nature. Maybe it's not left and right and center. Maybe it's just human nature. See you all. Bye.